I'm going to show you how to make a balloon garland with a strip using nothing but a bag of balloons and a strip. Hey, what's up guys? It's Rachel here with Bubbly Balloon Co. So in today's video, I will be showing you how to do like a simple, basic DIY version of a balloon garland with a strip. This is not going to be something super advanced. It's not going to be super intricate. This is perfect for people who are throwing a party and who want to know how to do this on their own without hiring a professional for several $100s. So that's what this is. So if you're watching this video, you probably got a balloon kit ordered on Amazon and you probably have a bunch of stuff that looks kind of like this in front of you, and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to put together a balloon garland with this roll of plastic here? So the first thing I want to do is walk you through the items you probably got in your kit, just so you know what's what and you can think with when you're going to need to use it. Obviously, the main component is going to be balloons. Today I'm working with 11-inch and 5-inch balloons in rainbow pastel colors. Your kit probably came with a few different colors and a few different sizes. The common ones are going to be those 11 or 12 inches and then either 5 or 7 for small. You might even have a few large balloons in there as well, 16, 17, 18 inch, maybe 24 or 36. So those are going to be fun to work with. You also probably got either ribbon, fishing line, maybe both. This is mostly used in hanging the garland. There are ways to assemble a garland with it, but in this video we will be assembling the garland with a strip, so these are going to be used in hanging only. Then you probably got a packet of balloon glue dots. These are good for sticking latex balloons to latex balloons. These I wouldn't recommend using if you have foil balloons, if you got any orbs or any specialty balloons. I wouldn't really recommend these for it. They don't tend to hold it like at all, but I do have other techniques I can show you on how to hang foil balloons. A lot of kits also come with a manual balloon pump. Personally, I think this destroys the arms. It is better than using your mouth and lungs. That's awful, don't try it. But it's not as good as an electric balloon pump. This baby right here has saved me so much pain and done wonders for my yard over the years. So I highly recommend investing like 20 bucks in a little cheap one you can get on Amazon or at Walmart, whatever. It's gonna just save you so much time and energy. And last but not least, of course, you're gonna have the strip itself. There's two kinds of strips here. I'm gonna show you what they both are, and I will show you how to use both the single hole strip and the double hole strip. Depending on what you have, you'll be able to make a balloon garland with it after this video. A lot of kits come with more than one. They're usually 16 feet long each, so depending on how big of a garland you're doing, you may only need to use one today, and you can save the other one for next time. So whereas the single hole balloon strips only have a single hole in them, they look like that, the doubles actually have 2 openings in every hole. So you have a large hole, a small hole, and a little notch between them. Given the choice, I much prefer the strips with 2 holes in them. I find it to be much more secure and to hold the garland much better in the end. So I would definitely recommend, if you have the chance or choice, to get one with 2 holes rather than the single hole. If you're interested in making a little more full looking, a little bigger, a little more exciting, I will have a separate video on things you can do to it during this process to make it extra special. But this video is just about the basic balloon garland with the strip itself. So the first thing we're going to be doing is laying out all the balloons you got so we can start inflating them one by one with either the manual or electric pump, depending on your choice. Now, quick note, if you are going to be taking those extra steps to make it look a little more special, then I would set aside right now a few of your large balloons. I'm going to take just a small handful here, and almost all of your small balloons, and I would also save most of your large balloons if you have any of those as well. If you got any glitter or confetti balloons, anything like that, I would also set those aside. Anything you're going to want to be really visible at the end, you're going to want to really bring it to life with, go ahead and set that aside for now. So if you're going to be color blocking, go ahead and lay them out by color. You can blow up one color at a time. If you're going to be doing them all together, kind of mix and match as I am here, which is definitely going to be the easiest method, then you can literally just have them out random and you're going to choose one at a time, doesn't matter, and just inflate, inflate, inflate. Now there's 2 ways to go about this when you're inflating at this point. You can either go ham on the inflation, inflate all of them at once, and then keep them in like a garbage bag or a hamper, or even on the table or floor, whatever you like. Or you can inflate one and put it on the garland, inflate one, put it on the garland. I'm going to be going with that method today. I like that it keeps it a little more contained, a little more confined, a little less messy. In a house with 5 pets, less mess is a good thing for me. So that's what I'm going to be starting with today. So I have my garland here, my balloons here. I'm going to take this out, have it ready to go. And I'm just going to take one balloon and inflate. So once you have one inflated, you can go ahead and press on it a little bit to give it a more round or bubbly shape, which is one distinctive difference between DIY garlands and professional ones. So once you just give it that little bit of squish, it should have a little rounder shape, and you can go ahead and tie this one up. In terms of tying balloons, the method that I find easiest is to just wrap the neck around your fingers and then tuck in the end of the neck, pull it over, and pull it out. A lot of kits will actually come with this like blue plastic tying tool. Personally, I don't find that it helps me at all. It actually slows me down, so I just do it with my hands, but again, it can chafe your fingers, be careful. So I a lot of times will wear protective gloves or just go really fast. Side note, don't wear any jewelry while doing this. Take off your rings if you can. I always swap out for silicone ring when I'm doing balloons. When you're getting all in there, you don't want anything sharp. Okay, I've got my first balloon. I've got my strip. Here's how easy this is. I always leave a few empty open holes at the end here in case I want to use those for hanging or for anything later. So I'm going to go just maybe 5 or 6 in, and I'm going to take the neck of the balloon and put it through the large hole and pull that through. Okay, pull it all the way until the bit that's tied there at the end actually pulls through as well. And then using that neck of it, you can gently pull it through the little notch bit into the small hole. And now your balloon is very secure through both of these holes, and it's not going anywhere. It is helpful when you're tying your balloons to keep the knot here a little bit large. That's what protects it from falling through the hole into the other and coming back out on the other side. So I do recommend keeping them a little bit large if you can. This is what a single hole balloon strip looks like. Obviously there's only one hole in here and they are quite close together. So it works in the exact same way. You're just going to go ahead and slip the neck of the balloon through, pull it until the neck and the knot are through to the other side. And that knot is what's going to secure it from slipping back through. So you're just going to keep building this out one balloon at a time, hole by hole as we go. So one thing you can do to help make this look pretty cool is to blow up your balloons to different sizes. So while I'm working with all 11-inch balloons at the moment, I'm not blowing them all up to the exact same size. That's going to help give it volume and that nice organic shape that you're going for. So at this point, I'm going to start incorporating some of my other size balloons. I'm working with these 5-inch, these little guys here. If you've got any large balloons, you can start adding those in as well, depending on how many you've got. If you got a bunch of them, you can intersperse them throughout. If you only got a couple of large ones, I would recommend putting it at the base of the garland. Either end when you're building the garland, whatever's going to be the bottom, that can have that big 24, 36, anything like that. If you have a bunch of 16, 17, 18s, I would kind of maybe space them evenly throughout. And if you're working with small balloons as well, when it starts to get really congested or tight in a specific area on the strip itself, when you start to have a hard time fitting in more balloons so close together, that's when you can add in a little 5-inch, or you can skip a hole entirely, which you'll probably need to do if you're adding in a large balloon. You might need to skip a hole or two on either side to give it a little bit of wiggle room. One other thing you can do when it starts to get kind of unruly as you start to build it out and these balloons are all competing for space together, it's very easy to twist this as you're building, and it'll kind of fall into shape into how it wants to go, which will help make it easier for you to keep adding balloons onto it. Now, it doesn't much matter which side of the strip that you put your balloon through. In the end, they're all going to be twisted together. It's all going to be one big shape. It's not going to be evident if you do all of them on one side or you mix and match. It really doesn't matter. I would just say whatever's easiest as you're building out, stick it through that way. Now I'm going to go ahead and just twist this a little bit, twist the strip and the balloons on it just a little to give it a little bit more shape and open up some more room for me to continue adding balloons in as I go. Okay, so I'm at the point where it's getting really difficult to try and fit another balloon in the next hole, and in doing so I actually popped another balloon out of my garland. So that to me tells me it's time to skip a hole or two and move on to the next bit that wants to let me put a balloon in. So you can see that there's now one empty hole in between this blue and yellow right here, and that's going to allow me a little bit of breathing room, and these won't start popping out as I'm going. If your balloons are popping out as you're building with the strip, you're either not doing big enough knots that are coming all the way through in and into the second hole, or you have too many balloons too close together and it's just not enough room and they're going to start popping out. So make sure you got those big knots. Make sure they're nice and secure in that little hole there, going through the big hole, through the notch, into the second hole here, and make sure that you're not doing them too tightly congested together. A single balloon strip. Now, since these are so close together, you might have to skip more holes than you would in a double hole balloon strip. You can see from what we've done so far, we've got a little over a foot here of garland. So with the method I'm doing, it really doesn't matter what order you pick colors in, they're all going to be mixed up as you go, so I wouldn't really have any concern about what color to pick next. Just grab a balloon and keep inflating, it's going to look good. So when you're doing a bubbly balloon garland, if you start to get this elongated, this like pear-shaped balloon look, you've inflated it too far. So let a little bit of air out, press on the top, give it that nice, beautiful round shape, and that's how you're going to get a bubbly garland. Now again, I'm going to go ahead and skip a hole. It is getting a little bit full and congested over here. They're starting to pop out. So I'm going to go ahead and skip a hole and then go ahead and push this through the large hole. Bring it on, slide it through the notch, and leave it secured in the small hole. Don't forget to keep inflating your balloons to different sizes. So I've inflated all the large balloons I had for this garland here. This is going to be about 6 to 8 feet in length at this point, which is perfect for a backdrop for a photo station or over a food table, something like that. This is going to be really perfect in size. So you're going to want to cut off the extra strip. Again, I would leave probably 5 holes or so on the end in case you want to add more balloons to it, in case you want to use that when you're actually hanging the balloons. That can be really useful, and you can always cut it off at the end if you didn't end up needing it. Now I am left with several feet of strip here, so I'm going to go ahead and roll that up to use it on the next job. Or something I do a lot if I have balloons left and strip left on a job is I'll create another mini garland to complement the large one. So at this point we are ready to go ahead and hang the garland. Now how you hang it is up to you. If your kit came with like ribbon or fishing line or anything similar that you can use, I would go ahead and use that to tie it up. All you're going to do is go ahead and take the ribbon or string or fishing line, go ahead and wend it in between some different balloons here, get close to the strip, tie a little knot in it, and then at the other end you're going to go ahead and secure that to whatever you're hanging to. So that could be nails or screws or banister, depending on what you're hanging from or attaching to. You can also use command hooks. If you add a cloth backdrop for the occasion, I recommend putting a couple safety pins in it at strategic points and then using that to attach to it, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. Now luckily these are incredibly light, so it's almost no weight that you're putting on it, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is open up the safety pin. I'm going to tie the ribbon onto it first. Since it is ribbon, it's a little bit slippery, so I'm going to do extra due diligence here to make sure it gets tied on tight. So I'm going to tie one knot and a double knot just to be sure. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and take my safety pin with the ribbon on it and attach it to my backdrop. Okay, And don't worry about this end here or anything like that. We are gonna cover that with balloons, so I wouldn't worry about that. Then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now I'm gonna take the garland and kind of place it visually to see where I'm gonna want it hung. I think that's about what I'm going for. So then I'm gonna just go ahead and wind the ribbon through several different balloons here, like so. So I'm gonna take the end of the ribbon that's left over from tying and the bit of strip here that I left at the end to tie with, and I'm going to tie the ribbon through the holes in the strip here to give it more of a rounded appearance at the end and see if that does what I want it to do. So same thing on this end. If I want to leave it hanging, I can. If I want to kind of give it some more shape in any direction, I could do that by adding another safety pin in, or if I had any line left over here, I could tie it together. I think I like this look, so I'm going to add another safety pin in here to attach the end to. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this safety pin that I tied another ribbon to. I'm going to put it right around here will be great. Then I'll use that ribbon to go ahead and tie through those holes again that are open at the end of the strip. Kind of hoist it to the right level that I'm looking for, the right amount of lift. And then I'll cut off what's left. And there you have it. We've created this simple but beautiful balloon garland out of nothing but a strip and a few balloons. This probably didn't take more than 20 or 30 minutes at all. It was pretty easy to do. Now, if you're happy with this look, excellent. Have an amazing party. I hope you have a blast. If you want it to look a little more elegant, a little more flipped out, a little more next level, then like I promised you in the beginning of the video, there are some simple tricks we can do for it. Go ahead and watch that next video to see what to do with all those balloons we set aside in the beginning.